Hello, 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 everyone. It is June 6th, 2023. I'm gobsmacked. I can't believe that the time has flying so fast. I said this to somebody the other day that time was just flying. My grandson is 5 now, and we took a long time to come to terms with the fact that he's 5 years old. And then my daughter said to me, he's going to be 6 very soon, eh? I was like, oh no, don't do this to me. It's just going so fast. I can't get enough of him. And I don't think I ever will. So, anyways, this is Barbara Moore. I live in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We are embarking on spring. We're hoping that we get a little bit of spring, anyways. It seems to be like we get 2 really nice days and it opens it up for us. And then as soon as we get some really nice weather and we're thinking, oh, this is it. Okay. It goes back to subarctic temperatures again. So we had a really nice week last week. It was very warm. It was nice. And anybody who had a pool out, um, that was the ticket. But we didn't have enough time to get the pool out and get it heated up because it turned cold again. So there you go, right? If you're here, I can see that there's 6 people here. If you're here, leave me say something so I know who you are and that you're here. I appreciate everybody who comes on. Doesn't matter if you're too shy to leave a message, but so weather report. Every week I come on and I make a weather report. But today, oh, there, I didn't see everybody. Hi, Fred. Hi, Norma. Hi, Kathleen, Beverly, Catherine. Sorry, guys, I didn't see it before. I had something up there that I had to close. So, anyways, we have had a great number of fires all across Canada. So, from the West Coast, the air is coming this way to the south, and they have had raging wildfires. The East Coast is ablaze. Terrible fires down there, totally out of control. And now Quebec is on fire as well. I know that we always have wildfires up north around this time of the year, and this year is an especially bad year because we didn't have enough moisture through the winter. We didn't have enough snow, and so um, very bad air quality. What's happening is here yesterday, it looked like it was all overcast, but it wasn't. It was smoke in the air. it's making me it's making me cough. Just think about it. Just thinking about it. So um, the cloud cover is covering us, and some of it's coming down depending on where the weather is and what the I don't know how the weather moves and all of that. So be careful out there, guys. If you are going out or if you have to go out, you might consider wearing a mask. It can really help, especially if it's windy out. Um, it can really help you. But air quality. So if you don't have an air quality app, you've got to go find one. They're free apps. You don't need to pay for them. And where you'll usually find an air quality app is with an asthma app, and they give you the air quality um, on a daily basis, and they they say whether it's good, bad, fair, whatever, right? So air quality is very, very important for us because of the small particulates that we inhale. God, I can remember, being a kid and uh, loving going out, when it was overcast like that. We never cared about. And I live in an industrial city, so we're a steel city. So you know, we had lots of, yeah, we had lots of pollution in our city, right? But we never paid any attention to it. We never bothered about it. No, nobody was interested. Oh, hi Beverly. Hi Janice. Hi Annie. Annie, you were my um, top. Uh, why can't I talk? You were my top uh, follower last month on Facebook. I don't even know what I put on Facebook, but anyways. So today we're going to talk more about mindfulness. Is everybody liking this series of mindfulness talks that we're having? It kind of sometimes, people have a hard time with it. They don't quite get it, but I think in the end you will, and I think in the end you will find some benefit for it. I hope, anyways. So, hi Rose, how are you? So, hi Letta, thanks for joining us today. If you like my page, please consider subscribing to it, because the numbers really make a difference in how I can grow my page and um, whatever. If you go on the little bell there, it tells you when I'm going live. It'll notify you when I go live. Problem is, it needs your email address in order to notify you. And if you can't join us live, you can go to catchyourbreath60.com and it will be on my page. It's on the first page. And they're here all the time. So if you want to go back over any of them. So let's get started today. Oh, Rose, don't even start with me about passwords. Does anybody else have problems with their passwords? Oh my goodness. I have like one universal password. I shouldn't even say this, probably. Somebody will be out there looking for my password. So I have one universal password that I use for everything, but you know how sometimes they tell you have to change your password? Oh no, I just got everything all straightened out and now I've got to change my password. Or they asked for my password for YouTube. They asked for my password, and guess what? Your password is the same as your email address. So if you have Gmail, which I use all the time, um, thanks, Letta. I appreciate it. Um, if you have a Gmail, which I do, your YouTube password is the same as your Gmail address or your Gmail password. So who knew? It took me a while to figure that one out. Anyways, today we're going to talk about who have I become. So we know that most of us have a chronic illness. Not everybody has COPD, although probably anybody who's following me does. It's the main thing that we usually talk about. Since I've become an advocate for Lung Health Foundation, it seems I have given people a reason to bypass the small talk. Isn't that a pleasure? Although I do discuss the weather every week, it's not an opener it once was in any given conversation. No more openers at the doctor's office about weather and the kids. I have more important things to discuss now. Most of the time, when I meet someone, we get straight to the point. They have a story to tell, they have a need to talk and to tell their story, and they want someone to listen to them so that they can put into words what their chronic illness looks like. Depending on your chronic illness, things can be way different for you than they are for me. And even as we know with COPD, some people will have symptoms that are totally different than your symptoms. And everybody with COPD does not have the same symptoms. Some people tell me that they have pain. I don't really have any pain. So I have a hard time with that concept that it causes pain. But that doesn't mean that I'm wrong or right. It just means that we are different. Define your chronic illness. How does it make you feel? Do you have pain? Can you describe what your chronic illness has done to you? I remember when I was first starting my career, it was so many years ago, and I didn't want to disclose how tender my lungs were. I knew something was wrong back then, and I knew that I could and would be discriminated against for it. Does anybody remember these days where discrimination was rampant? And if you told a secret or you disclosed something and the company found out, they could just fire you for it. We had no rights. Not that we do have a lot of rights now, but I'm not sure that they can fire you for being sick anymore. They'd probably do what my company did to me. They just ignore you and wait for you to make the decision to leave. Keeping it a secret was the best option back in those days. You just didn't have to tell anybody. The company I worked at wouldn't want me on their benefit plan, and they would be afraid that something would happen to me on the job. I didn't have a diagnosis back then. It was just something I felt, and I was the only one who knew it, and I was determined to keep it that way. I hear you, Annie. Annie says that she still deals with this issue sometimes, and I think most of us could. Empathize with that, right? That there is discrimination and prejudice. Keeping secrets is not easy because we spend too much time and energy doing things we need to do to hide things. Under this kind of stress, we're unable to tell the entire story. There are no accommodations made for us while the cat is still in the bag. So we end up not taking care of ourselves the best we can, and there is no one else to care for us either. Having a prolonged and lasting chronic lung issue changes you. You are not the same person today that you were before your diagnosis. There is a prejudice that comes with a chronic illness, but having COPD gives people the God-given right to point their finger and say, well, you smoked. That attitude makes us change how we look at the world around us, and that affects how we treat ourselves and the rest of the world. It is a horrible, horrible prejudice. When somebody says, and I've had people who smoke who said, I'm going to just go leave the table and go for a smoke. And they point the finger at me and go, well, you smoked, as if anybody who smoked deserved what we got. At the beginning of our disease, we are often not believed, and our feelings are pushed aside. It comes from doctors, families, and friends. They deny what is happening and what we are saying. They don't believe us. Advice is plentiful and seems to roll off their lips. Change your diet, lose some weight, start sleeping better, and get yourself into shape. I almost killed myself trying to get into shape before I was diagnosed with COPD. I almost killed myself getting into shape. I was like, and I think that might have been the reason why my lungs collapsed. These changes are more easily said than done. And what gives people the right to say things like this to you when they have no qualifications to say these things? Especially when comorbidities accompany your chronic illness. Having heart failure increases your shortness of breath. I can tell when I haven't had enough diuretics because I get extremely short of breath. And when I put on my oximeter, it's not my oxygen, it's my heart rate. And that causes extreme shortness of breath. Anybody who has heart failure knows this. Having an inflammatory disease like rheumatoid arthritis leaves you feeling swollen all over. And osteoarthritis does cause pain. There is definite pain with that. But rheumatoid arthritis, the worst disease ever. We are not our COPD or our chronic illness, but because we suffer from it, we are different from others. For some of us, it makes us better, and we find compassion by living a life of service and helping others while we are helping ourselves. Joining support groups, virtually and in person, is a great way to find those that can empathize with us. Because while you're helping others, you are also feeding your own soul. For others, it's worse, because we see the world's problems as being immaterial. Only our problems matter, and I can't empathize with anybody else because my problems are so encompassing. Nothing is more important than me. Once we lose compassion for others, what good are we? When you don't recognize yourself anymore or the person you have become, you have allowed your illness to define you. It has no beginning and no end, and it has totally enveloped us. This is by far the last place that you want to be. Hi, Karen. With mindfulness, we have a place to start, to put that constant shortness of breath and overwhelming feeling of drowning. There is no need to shout. We just have to learn to keep it in its place. Eventually, if we are paying attention, we will learn how to soothe ourselves. We find something that lets us escape our torture. It takes a few minutes at a time, but eventually it will add up to less suffering for us. And that is the whole point. For me, it is music. I soothe myself with music. The genre changes with the day and the mood. And sometimes it's old Irish songs, and sometimes it is good old rock and roll. Can't help having a big session of Adele either. Music and meditation. Way to go. Way to go, Fred. It makes no difference what I choose. Music helps me sing from the soul. It helps me mend my heart. We have to learn to reconnect with ourselves about something that pleases us. We have worked hard all of our lives, and this is our time for relaxation. Find what soothes you and practice often to make it a daily habit. Open yourself to the experience, drink it in, find yourself. Only you can say who you have become. When we fight through the things you don't tell people about and stay strong when giving up would be easier, you have changed. You have become. Sit with your back straight against the chair, shoulders lowered. Keep those shoulders down. Are you still having problems keeping your shoulders lowered? Is it getting easier? What I find when I keep my shoulders lowered, it no longer hurts when I try to do it. It's where you want to be. Take 2 deep breaths. Put your hands on your lap, palms up. Close your eyes. Begin to breathe using pursed lips. Inhale through your nose and take each breath into your belly. Hold it for a few seconds and release through pursed lips. By doing this over and over again, you will learn to slow your breathing. Slowing your breathing is what helps you to calm, to let go of the stress, to alleviate what is bothering you. Now is the perfect time to inhale hope and light and exhale what no longer serves you. With each breath, take control of who you are and what you want to happen. Thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate everyone that's here. Like and share my page. I'm really looking to get some motion going in this channel. This is Barbara Moore for Catch Your Breath 60, and I appreciate everyone for joining me today.